The annual Best Buddies event will be able to take place this summer despite some neighbors' concerns. A local restaurant is forced to close its doors for a few days in May, and a new Asian restaurant will soon be opening its doors in Marston's Mills. These stories and more on this episode of Barnstable Today. It's Monday, March 24th, 2014. I'm Sarah Mannel. The annual Best Buddies event will be able to take place again this summer. The licensing authority granted the organization a one-day entertainment license at its meeting today after much discussion about some disruption that neighbors feel the event causes. Bill Sykes from Best Buddies addressed the board before the vote, detailing changes that have been made to help alleviate some of these concerns.
Come back today to respond to some of the questions that were raised at the last meeting in regards to how we're handling some of the aspects of the event at the Eunice Kennedy Shriver Ocean Park for the Best Buddies Challenge. Some of the stuff that was brought up in the last meeting, and I've made some bullet points on these. We'll begin with the tents. The tent company will begin building the Victory Celebration tent on Wednesday, May 22nd. All work on the Victory Celebration tent will take place from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. daily. No work will take place on Sunday, May 25th, prior to the ride or on Memorial Day. The tent for the Victory Celebration will be reduced in size, along with the finish line tent on the beach side, which is being reduced in size as well. The Victory Celebration tent will be moved as far forward away from the residents towards Craigville Beach as possible. We feel that that's going to eliminate some of the issues that have occurred. The sound noise issues. The stage has been repositioned so that the sound will project away from the residents towards the beach. This year's music act will be an acoustic act. It will not be loud rock and roll, hopefully, but it's going to be acoustic. Music will play for 20 minutes, which will also include the Berkshire Hills Music Academy, which is a band that's with people with intellectual and development disabilities and mission-inspired performance. Sound checks will be kept to a minimum on Friday and Saturday. All equipment and machinery will be turned off or not in use. This includes generators, light towers, forklifts, anything that we use back there.
Neighbor Mary Capizzi says the event is a disruption for more than just one day and urged the authority to deny the one-day entertainment license.
First, as a citizen of Barnstable, I value where I live. I value our people with disabilities, and I want what's good and right for everyone. As far as living, as far as living next to a parking lot, that's what it is. It's a parking lot. And what some don't understand, this isn't just a one-day event. As I had mentioned at the last meeting, it's weeks of major construction with a 30-foot high tent that swallows the lot. And then the other issues, I would say thank you very much to Bill Sykes and the Best Buddy organization for working to correct some of the issues that have been happening over the years. I truly appreciate that. As far as the bleachers across the street, that wasn't my letter. I never said anything about it, so I don't know. Apparently there's someone else who took issue. As far as 5,500 people being helped in the area, again, I go back to their 2012 taxes, and there are 1,726 citizen participants. I would imagine when they're speaking of the 5,500, they could be speaking of volunteers and other people who assist in this. I don't know.
Ultimately, the board voted to approve the modified event plans. The event will be held at Craigville Beach on May 31st from 1 p.m. to 9 p.m. A new Asian restaurant will soon be opening in Marston's Mills. The licensing authority heard from Ling & K Inc. And their attorney, Ray Schilling, who went over plans for Saga Fusion.
They're applying for an all-alcohol common victuals license in association with the restaurant they're creating at this location at 1560 Old Post Road in Marston's Mills. You may be familiar with the building because there's an Eastern Bank there now, and the Hayden family has put that building in. And we're looking for approval for a 36-seat restaurant. It's going to have, oh, here she is now. And with me today, I might add that I have Wei Ling Chin, who is the owner and will be the manager of the restaurant. And I have Peter Young, who is a translator. She speaks English, but we don't want to lose anything in the translation here, so he's helpful to do that, if that with your permission. And we applied for approval for this location through the Board of Appeals. And on Tuesday of this last week, it was approved with all appeals having run. And so we have approval through zoning, and we intend to get started as soon as this the state, you and the state, will allow us to grant this.
Town Councilor John Norman expressed concerns about the establishment opening.
There is no dispute that a restaurant in this location in an S&D1 is allowed. Any of us that researched and did our due diligence when we bought our properties knew that this was the potential for many different businesses in these areas. The question at hand is, the service of alcohol in this facility. Now, as you've looked at the traffic studies and as you've looked at this location, yes, they are funneling these drivers onto Old Post Road, take a left on Industry Road, go up into the parking lot of the Stop and Shop facility, take another left to the lights to then access Route 28 safely under the guise of a light. So, in essence, they are funneling potentially impaired drivers past a residential neighborhood, up an Industry Road into a parking lot, another left, and that's our concern. We understand, and I personally understand, their rights to have a restaurant, but I don't necessarily agree with the right to be able to become a full-service alcohol in that restaurant.
Ultimately, the board voted to approve the license for Saga Fusion with the condition that alcohol only be served with food. The Dockside will have to close its doors for 3 days this May. The licensing authority found the establishment guilty of violating its entertainment agreement during its meeting this morning. During the meeting, Barnstable police testified that the Dockside had music that could be heard outside the establishment premises and that the entertainment continued after operating hours on October 27th of last year. The authority also revoked the Dockside's entertainment license. Now let's get a look at sports with Brenna McCubry.
Good afternoon, Barnstable. I'm Brenna McCubry, here to bring you the latest on National and Red Raiders sports. The Boston Bruins are continuing their winning streak as of this past Saturday with a 4-2 win over the Phoenix Coyotes. Tonight, they will be in Boston to host Montreal Canadiens at 7:30. The Boston Celtics will play Wednesday, March 26 at TD Garden. They will take on Toronto Raptors at 7:30. Also this Wednesday, the Boston Red Sox will face the Baltimore Orioles at 1:05 in the afternoon. Spring sports at Barnstable High School have begun, and there are a couple games happening this afternoon. The boys' JV volleyball games started at 4 as they travel to Brockton. Also up in Brockton is the boys' varsity volleyball team with a 5 p.m. start. That's it for sports this evening. Here on Barnstable Today, I'm Brenna McCubry.
Be sure to tune in to Barnstable This Morning, our daily hour-long news program, live at 7 a.m. right here on Channel 18. On tomorrow's show, we will talk with Police Chief Paul McDonald, DPW Director Dan Santos, and we'll have all the news and information you need. For Barnstable Today, I'm Sarah Mannel.